Bliss everyone! Welcome to another weekly reading on my channel. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. Even says it on my shirt, check it out. I am so excited to connect with you as always. We are ready for another weekly reading right here on the channel. The week is 6/23 today to next Sunday, 6/30, the end of June. And I am so excited to get into messages. But as always, let's go ahead and do a review of last week so that we can allow everybody to join and also kind of get an idea of where we're coming from energetically so that we know where we're going, right? Because it's so important for us to know where we were at so that we can move into where we're going. But it's also important to stay in the present moment, which we are in right now. So we're going to dive into a lot of how you are all feeling today and what is going on in your world today. And I'm doing well, so thank you all for asking. I see some people already joining here. We've got Bohemian Princess. Hey, Marie's here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Josie's here. Made it. Totally forgot she was cleaning. Nice. And I'm doing well, Marie. Thank you for asking. CJ Brooks is here. Hello. Everybody saying hi to the Soul family. Everybody say hi to each other. So important. Andrea Nichols is here as well. Amanda's here. Hey, everyone. So exciting to have you all join. Thank you so much for joining. I'm still getting this light stuff figured out. I think that's a better lighting. Okay. All right, you guys, so let's do a review of last week. Hey, Camilla. So last week we had the cards Answered Prayer for the beginning of the week. Then we had Believe in the middle of the week. And then we had Integrity for the end of the week. Now, this is so important because Answered Prayer in the beginning of the week last week was a really great kind of preparation, I guess I should say, for the end of this month, which this month in general, June, is the month of miracles, according to the yearly reading that I did at the beginning of the year, the annual reading, where I pulled a card for each month of the year. And so for June, it was miracles. So we had the Answered Prayer card come up last week, which was letting us know that we are preparing for our miracles and that we are still experiencing miracles this week and this next week and this entire month, okay? So super important to know that our miracles are there, believe in them, which was the middle of the week card for last week, really having faith and trust. And then the end of the week last week, which is our weekend now, having integrity with our belief in those answered prayers, knowing that even when no one's looking, we're still telling ourselves that we believe in our answered prayer and that we're still looking for those answered prayers and we're still allowing ourselves to see them all around us and to feel into the truth of them and the experience that we have with those answered prayers every day. It's an answered prayer that we woke up this morning, right? So this is what we want to focus on, are all of the answered prayers, big and small, that occur in our life. So going into this week, okay, let's go ahead and get right into this week with June 23rd today to June 30th next Sunday. Let's go ahead and start with the spirit messages that I received personally in meditations and different readings throughout the week. I will say that I just did my channel and chill event last night, and we had a really great several messages come through from Master Merlin. So really, really awesome that we got his energy yesterday in the channel and chill. And I will be posting some highlights from that channel within this week. So just keep an eye out for that. But Master Merlin really spoke about nature, a lot of nature, and recognizing our own nature and also recognizing how we connect to nature, how we connect to the natural world, and understanding that nature speaks to us all of the time. And when we pay attention and listen to nature, we receive information that is going to be useful for our natural flow in our life going forward. So make sure you're connecting with nature this week. Make sure you're listening to nature, seeing the ways that the cycle of life occurs and applying that information and understanding to your life so that you can understand what you're going through and where you're at in the cycle of creation and the cycle of life. And we also had that void space of creation last week with the galactic center and the full moon. So hopefully you all are feeling kind of back from that and experienced some big understandings in that stillness and in some of that slowness of the week last week. You were able to really absorb a lot of understanding in the void space of creation, your ability to create from that stillness and that stagnancy, because that's what we're going to do a lot of this week, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about this week. I'm going to get into the spirit messages. So the first spirit message that I wrote down for this week is to reflect on your miracles. Reflect on your answered prayers from last week. Recognize that the answered prayers and the miracles are already occurring in your life. Allow yourself to connect to the validity of those miracles by choosing to see them in your life, by journaling about them, meditating and reflecting on your entire week this week, as well as the entire month, since we're ending the month this week. Allow yourself to reflect introspectively and in your life on what answered prayers have come to fruition, as well as what miracles have come to fruition in your life, because this is the time for that energy to be realized. And if you don't take the time to reflect, then you won't see those miracles and answered prayers as easily as if you do. Remember, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that a lot of our miracles and answered prayers are sometimes hidden. They sometimes require a little extra focus, a little extra awareness and consciousness to see those answered prayers, and to see that a circumstance that just happened to us, maybe it was unexpected or unprepared for, but then it gave us an answered prayer. The result of it answered our prayer. The result of it gave us a miracle. The result of it proved that miracles and answered prayers could happen, right? So sometimes we go through hardships and we endure something, and then at the end of that, we realize that it was a miracle in disguise, or an answered prayer in disguise, right? So really reflect on that and journal them down, write them down, because when you write them down, you're literally allowing the energy flow from your heart to go into your hands. You're writing it down into the paper, and then you're able to receive that same message when you read it back, the same energy flowing through you and back to you to validate you in that experience. So that can be really helpful. Another spirit message that I got for this week is realization. We are realizing a lot of things about ourselves, especially from last week and all of the energy that we experienced last week. So definitely comment on how you feel from last week, and what are some of the realizations that you had last week. Comment below, because we can all really benefit from hearing each other's realizations and aha moments in our self-reflection and reflection of our life, so that we can understand that we are all connected. We're not alone in our realizations most of the time, and we can also benefit by hearing other people's aha moments and realizations, so that we can have even more of those realizations flow to us, that is going to help us move into this next week with even more security, strength, and confidence in what we learned about ourselves last week. Now, with that, we had a lot of clarity come through with last week's energy, which is also transitioning into this week. So we're having a ton of new understandings, new growth in our perceptions, new passions and even new timelines and experiences that we're about to walk into and become more aligned with, okay? So tons of realizations, tons of information, tons of divine intelligence that we have absorbed from last week's energy. And now with this new week, after the full moon last week, we're in the third quarter of the moon. So now we're feeling ourselves, sorry, this is distracting me. Now we're feeling ourselves really move into a wise perspective, one where we have applied the information that we have received. And now that is our week's duty for this week, is to apply the information that we received last week, and really to start taking an action perspective on everything. The next spirit message is honesty. This is also a big part of residue from last week. We're moving into more honesty with ourselves and with others. We're no longer afraid to speak our truth. We're no longer hesitant to do what we know is right or do what we feel is right. Remember that integrity of last week and this weekend. We're feeling that need to do the right thing for ourselves, whatever is in our highest good. And we're really starting to take more responsibility for those actions through honesty, through completely having a new capacity for honesty and self-love. Because when we are honest, we are loving ourselves. We are not trying to convince ourselves of false truths. Instead, we're honoring ourselves for who we are and what we truly feel. Now, with that honesty and self-love, we're also allowing ourselves to relax into the release of the illusions from last week. We had a lot of things come up last week that showed us that there were manipulations of the mind, illusions of our spirit and of our mind and of our body and emotions that were causing confusion within us that did not need to be there. So a lot of that confusion was realized last week. A lot of our ability to sort it out and kind of understand where the confusion was coming from and why is allowing us to move into more honest expression of ourselves and more honest alignment with our truth. This is so important because this is what's going to allow us to stay grounded in the new paths that we are moving into that are more representative of our expanded self and our spirit. So this is so important. Make sure that you don't slip back in to dishonesty, not speaking your truth, convincing yourself of something that's not real, having illusions or manipulations of the mind, or letting anyone else pressure you or project illusions or manipulations of the mind onto you, because it's going to be really important that we stay grounded and responsible and accountable for this new energy, this new capacity for honesty that we've received and that we're going to be expressing throughout this week moving forward, okay? Now, we also want to relax and retreat into the serenity of self. This includes forgiveness, acceptance, and honor. That's what we're moving into this week with all of the energy that we absorbed last week and that full moon awareness. We now can relax and find comfort in forgiveness of ourselves for experiences, knowing that whatever we've done in the past happened for a reason to give us more awareness and more connection to our spirit so that we could really see any illusions and manipulations of the mind that were occurring so that we could clear them, right? That is so important. So forgiving ourselves and forgiving others for projecting illusions and manipulations onto us, knowing that that was also for a reason, to show us that we needed to put more boundaries up, right? We needed to protect ourselves. We needed to move a little bit differently to not be so susceptible to illusions and manipulations, and to also find more confidence in our own perspectives and our own truth so that we're not easily swayed by outside influence. So this is a big part of our relaxation and retreat within, and our serenity of self, our peace, our content within ourself. We also are accepting ourself with that peace and serenity. We're finding more divine bliss and clarity and abundance within our being, abundance and understanding. And that is so powerful because when we have abundance within, abundance in clarity, abundance in understanding, abundance in self-respect and honor, then we are able to experience more abundance outside of ourselves because the abundance is already there within. And remember, anytime you are experiencing anything, every single experience outside of yourself is a direct reflection of what's going on inside. So if you're not feeling abundant, or if you're not stepping into abundance externally like you'd like, maybe you don't have everything that you want to have or everything you feel you need, then you want to make sure that you give yourself everything that you need within, making sure you're self-loving, self-caring, self-nurturing, honoring yourself, accepting yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself, right? Because when you do that, then that same energy, that abundance within, becomes your external experience as well. So this is super important to really tap into the energetic flow that you've been experiencing in this self-reflection of last week and now acting on it this week. So let me review a little bit of your reflections here to see how everybody's feeling in the present moment, because this is going to be a really big part of our movement into next week, okay? All right, so looks like Linda says, last week was the best week of the year for me, in large part due to the collective. Thank you. I'm so grateful for this connection right now, right here. Thank you, Linda. Yes, such a good energy. Josie said, not sad like I was last week. Total 360 in energy. Yes, because we've cleared a lot of the illusions and manipulations of the mind that were holding us in undesirable energy last week. So now we're moving fully into our true essence, our true bliss. Josie says, I'm tapping more back into writing, listening to music for chakras. Wonderful. Standing Champion says, writing a lot too. Perfect. And forgiveness is a big part of this movement. Absolutely. Forgiveness is our liberating force, okay? When we forgive ourselves, when we forgive experiences of the past that were undesirable, And when we forgive other people in our life that have been a part of the undesirable experiences in our life, we truly liberate ourselves. We release the tether that was holding us to that undesirable experience. We can only let go of that undesirable experience through forgiveness. We recognize that forgiveness does not mean that it's okay what happened. It just means that it was meant to be, that it was necessary, and that you gained something new from it. You learned something. You evolved from that experience, which is also giving gratitude to that experience, which really releases that tether even more. Okay? So good. So let's move on. So 5D consciousness. 5D consciousness is huge this week. We are stepping into even more 5D consciousness, which is unconditional love, unconditional compassion, new confidence in flow, a synergy with the universe and source energy, a symbiotic relationship, the ability to feel harmoniously connected to energy and completely in flow. So our 5D consciousness is really coming online right now with this week coming forward, since we released all those illusions and manipulations of the mind. If you know what kind of illusions or manipulations of the mind that you experienced last week, also comment below and let me know what kind of things that you feel like you were convincing yourself of that weren't true, or manipulating yourself on, that did not allow you to feel connected to your highest good or your purest positive potential, because there's a lot of that there. A big one that I noticed in people was feeling insecure, feeling doubtful of their potential, of their purpose, not knowing their purpose, feeling like they didn't have a purpose, feeling lost and confused. That's a manipulation of the mind. You're not lost and confused. You have created that confusion by not listening to your heart, by allowing the mind to start to create different assumptions of your experience that aren't true. Realize that you're never really lost. You're always guided within. You're always connected to source, and you're always connected to your higher self. And sometimes you have to go through certain things that don't feel that great in order to realize how disconnected or in alignment you may be. So this is a part of you being able to feel really confident in your flow and really allow yourself to release the illusions and manipulations of the mind that have kept you away from that confidence in your flow. So remind yourself that you are strong, you are powerful, you are connected, you are not confused. You can tap into the clarity of your heart as long as you listen to your heart and not let your mind try to convince you out of what you truly desire or what you truly feel intuitively you need to do for yourself. Trusting in that, and sometimes that means taking a risk by trusting your heart and not your head, but that is also what liberates you into that divine connection to the flow of the 5D consciousness. I got this meditation idea from someone, I can't remember who had told me about it, but I was researching, I was doing my normal like spiritual research over the week, and somebody was talking about meditating and envisioning your head being gone. Literally envisioning like being decapitated, not in like a violent, horrible way, but like a releasing the mind. And I've started to try it because I know that for my Gemini spirit, I have a really hard time completely shutting my brain off. And so that's why meditation has been so helpful for me. But I wanted to try it because I was curious. And when I did, and I meditated and I just imagined my head no longer being there and me just existing from the neck down, there was this peace that came over me, this complete pure clarity, this complete freedom. That's the best way to describe it. And when you do that, it feels really good. It's like the mind just no longer has so much influence and power, and you just instantly feel your heart. So I encourage you to just try that. Just imagine meditating for a little bit and just imagine your head just not being there anymore. Just imagine removing your head completely and just feeling into kind of this neck down energy, because then you really feel into your heart. You feel into your true expression of your heart through your throat chakra. You feel into your power center, your creative creative center and your root and connection to earth. And then you can kind of let go of a little bit of the confusion of the mind for a moment and really center into these other chakras that are going to help you feel more connected to your intuition. And then you bring that intuition and balance into the mind when you're ready. So that can be a really effective meditation, at least for me. So try it and see what happens, and comment below, comment below on how it works for you. All right, another spiritual message that came up today is the bigger picture perspective, being able to see our bigger picture perspective of our life. That's a lot of what experiences we had last week, and what the purpose of those experiences was to see the bigger picture perspective in our life, to see how close we are to our dreams and how much we have progressed in the way in which we've set up this year. Our goals at the beginning of the year, how close have we come to obtaining them? Do we need to still have work? Do we still have work to do, or are we pretty close? And allowing ourselves to act accordingly. We also have that new confidence and flow that I talked about, and speaking to nature is going to allow us to flow even deeper in that confidence, just like I said in the beginning of the message with Master Merlin's channel from last night, okay? And I will be posting the highlights from that Master Merlin channel as well, so that you can all enjoy some of those messages, because they came in so strong and so just clear last night. Also, let's see, anybody else feeling anything? I'm just checking the feed here. So Carla says she was feeling doubtful about her friendships last week. And Marie says, I've been able to see people's auras. That has been an eye-opening experience. Really cool. And just not feeling good enough, very lost and confused is what Bahama Princess said for last week. Some of those illusions of the mind, right? So this is really good that we're able to see some of those illusions and able to apply this new clarity that we're going to receive this week, and how to really eliminate those illusions and manipulations of the mind completely out of our experience, so that this week going forward, we can feel all the way connected to our 5D consciousness and feeling in flow. And if you don't know a lot about 5D consciousness, I encourage you to research it. 5D consciousness, that's what we're moving into from the 3D matrix. 3D matrix is all more materialistic, superficial, not very deep, very go, 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 dog eat dog kind of energy, not as spiritually aligned. 5D is that connection to source and that new perspective, that new awareness, that new aura that we present when we're connected to our spirit. All right, so let's get into astrology influences for this week. Let's go right into that. Those are all the spirit messages, so hopefully that gave you guys some good information. Now, moving into astrology to get even more specific about our week. On Monday, tomorrow, Venus is squaring Neptune. That means that love is going to be seen from more of that bigger picture perspective. So we had a bigger picture perspective showing itself to us in our life last week and this weekend. Now we're moving into love in a bigger picture perspective. We're feeling into a new awareness in love and family relationships, a new ability to understand our insecurities surrounding love and family, and to also let some of the illusions of those go, because there are some illusions that may flare up as residue from last week in reference to love and family tomorrow. So pay attention to that and know that it's really important to see your love and your family relationships from a bigger picture perspective. What are these family relationships encouraging you to do? Do they encourage excitement? Do they encourage growth? Do they encourage self-development and personal development? Do they encourage spiritual growth? Or do they encourage you to become stronger in your ability to endure certain things that do not resonate with you, so that you can find the inner strength necessary to step fully into your truth and lead by example in that way, no longer influenced or pressured by those love and family relationships to act differently than who you truly are. So that's a way to really be able to kind of check yourself and those relationships to see what they're encouraging and what they're doing for you. The moon also enters Aries tomorrow night, which is going to give us some fiery emotions. So make sure to pay attention to if you have any stir up of anger or frustration or irritability, and do yourself a favor by just thinking before you speak, trying to meditate and release some of that fiery aspect of the heavier energies, and try to open yourself up to more of a motivation, a determination, and a passion instead of the anger, frustration, and irritability, substituting fiery positive emotions for fiery negative emotions, okay? Because that's going to be the moon energy for tomorrow night. And with all of those illusions and manipulations kind of flaring up in love and family, there may be some butting heads happening. So make sure that you do your best to just get ahead of it, maintain your center, and replace some of that fiery negative energy with motivation, passion, and determination to grow and expand. Tuesday, 6/25, we are sorting out details from last week and from this weekend, and we're allowing ourselves to use the reflections, the information that we gained last week to allow us to act accordingly, to start kind of putting action behind our perceptions, behind our new influence and our new understanding. So we want to make sure that we prep for the new moon next week with this ability to actually act on what we've learned from last week. So this is our ability to really move. We were a little bit still and stagnant last week, so now it's time to apply the information that you learned from that self-reflection and start to move accordingly to create the new energetic experience and environment that you want to step into, especially for the new moon next week. The sun is also in Cancer on Tuesday, so we're going to feel an illumination of our emotional body and of our subtle emotions and aspects of ourselves that sometimes we don't like to bring to the surface. Sometimes there's going to be emotions that we try to hide or pretend like we don't have. On Tuesday, we're not going to really be able to hide many of those emotions. They're going to come to the surface with that sun in Cancer, which is also going to help us really act accordingly and feel validated in the energy that we experienced last week and the information that we received. Then on Wednesday, 6/26, Mercury enters Leo. Mercury is all about communication and relationships, and Leo is all about courage and strength and empowerment. And so we're going to feel courageous and fiery, especially with more of that moon energy from Monday night still there. And so we're going to feel this courageousness, this boldness, this even sometimes intimidating expression of our communication and of our being. So make sure that you're also paying attention to people around you, making sure they're receiving your passion the right way. They're understanding kind of what you are feeling, and they're not misunderstanding your passion for anger or frustration or intimidation. So this is going to be a big part of you finding balance and grace in your expression of courage and in your expression of boldness and confidence, okay? So this is going to be kind of funny for some people. Some people are going to seem a little bit more egotistical or narcissistic than they really are. Some people are going to feel or seem a little bit more intimidating than they really are. But either way, this is going to be helping balance your courage and your confidence in yourself. So there may be a little bit of imbalance on Tuesday, but we are going to, on Wednesday, but we are going to move into more balance throughout the week. So just notice that if you see that Leo energy presenting itself in your communications and relationships. It's also going to be important to think before you speak and ask for grace in your communication so that you can be easily understood by those that you're communicating with. Relationships can get tense if not taking the time to be clear, which is what I was alluding to with that kind of feeling of intimidation and that boldness of the Leo energy. So just be sure to be really clear and communicative with your partner, your love partners, your family relationships, your friendships, your coworkers, so that they really understand where you're coming from and they don't misunderstand the energy and the boldness that you're presenting on Wednesday, okay? Now Thursday is 6/27. We've got some cool numbers here. 6 is the 6th of June, or the 6th month, which is June. So we've got 6, then we've got 27, which is 2 plus 9, or 2 plus 7 is 9. So then we've got a 9, and then 2019 goes to 12, which then goes to 3. So we've got 6, 9, and 3 all in this date on the 27th on Thursday. So we're feeling some Tesla numbers, which is letting us know that we're going to be aligning more vibrationally to our truth and to the frequencies that we've asked to align with. So with that, the moon enters Taurus on Thursday, allowing ourselves to feel more grounded in our emotions, allowing us to feel more stable and connected to Mother Earth as well, and feel like we can really process our emotions appropriately so that we can act accordingly to them and not feel overwhelmed by them in any way. Now, the sun is sextile Uranus on Thursday as well, which means that we're shining light on our adventurous side, allowing ourselves to be more spontaneous, and allowing ourselves to feel a motivation to act out of curiosity and excitement. So this is an inner child energy that's going to be really great on Thursday, aligning us to more of our feeling of validation and acting accordingly to what we experienced last week and stepping more boldly into our bliss. So with that, we are going to feel some unexpected positive experiences and adventures ahead of us. And we're also going to have some aha moments, some really clear reflections and introspections that give us just this amazing sense of clarity and connection to spirit, and allowing us to see what happened in our life for a reason, knowing that all of the things that happened in our life happened for a reason, and allowing us to feel completely connected to the gratitude of that experience. So that's going to feel really good on Thursday, and it's going to lead into Friday as well. Then on Saturday, 6/29, the moon enters Gemini, and 2 + 9 is 11, so we're going to become more aligned instead of dualistic with our Gemini nature, our Gemini energy. If you're not a Gemini, that's okay. You'll still feel more alignment to the duality that we experienced at the beginning of the month with the Gemini moon and season. So we're going to feel balance of our emotions. We're going to feel balance in our perspectives. We're going to feel like all of the energy from last week and all of our applying of that energy this week is going to come into a beautiful synchronicity and balance so that we can move fully into our peace and serenity and confidence in ourselves, so that we can move next week into our new moon energy, allowing ourselves to feel completely connected to the new beginnings and the new sense of self that we're presenting, the new evolution of our spirit. So we're going to have a ton of balance at the end of this week with that Gemini and that moon entering Gemini. Okay? So that is all of the, I can't talk today. I'm talking so weird lately. I think I've just been doing so many readings and connecting so much to spirit that I'm like in two worlds at once, and I can't speak like all the way. So sorry, you guys, if I sound a little silly today. But let's go ahead and get into cards for this week moving forward so that we can tap into what else is happening this week and get a really strong read from our cards. Let me see how you guys are doing. Josie says she's taking notes. Awesome. Danielle says Saint Germain has a book called Living in 5D, which explains more about 5D and ascension. Wonderful. Thank you, Danielle, for that beautiful resource. Bobby Bell says, hey, superstar, what's up? And Linda says, fiery emotions on Monday. Grateful for tools I've learned from self-reflection. Yes. Kevin says, 29 is my birthday. Connection is the best gift ever. Yay, happy birthday on the 29th. That's going to be such a great day to experience that balance and bliss. Let's go ahead and get into some cards, but first let's take some deep breaths to connect to the collective here that is watching this reading, and also everybody else who's going to tune in later, allowing all of us to really feel connected and centered to get a really good read from our cards today. I'm actually going to put these down as we breathe. So let's go ahead and close our eyes for just a moment, get nice and comfortable, knowing that our spirits are all connected here. We are all one. We are all together for a reason right now in this moment, to share love and light together and to provide even more information from source about this week. So let's take a nice deep inhale and big exhale to relax. Feeling your body relax and release tension. Another deep inhale. And with love and gratitude, relaxing with the exhale, feeling the connection, feeling your ability to feel all of the information from last week, ready to apply it this week with another deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And big breath out. Relaxing. And now you can choose to continue breathing in a meditative state as I pull the cards, sending your love and light into the cards for guidance, or you can open your eyes and watch me shuffle. It's up to you, whatever feels good to you. Let's see what card comes up from the Angels of Atlantis deck for the beginning of the week. 623 to 630, there it is. All right. And we've got the Healing with the Angels card for the middle of the week. Let's see the energy there. That card came up real fast. Perfect. We're speeding right through this reading today, which is telling me that the energy for this upcoming week is going to be moving a lot faster as well than last week, which is probably great news for a lot of you, because I know a lot of us were feeling stagnant and still last week, a little bit of slow energy last week. So just judging by this reading going by so much faster this week, I can already tell that the energy is moving faster than it was last week, which is great. So we have a lot more capacity and potential of getting things done this week as well. So a lot more productivity than last week to look forward to. All right, the end of the week card popped up right away from the Spirit Messages deck, so let's check that out. And real quick, a couple of crystals, because I know you guys love when I talk about crystals for the week. This is Bloodstone. This is a really beautiful stone, and it only has a couple of red specks. It's actually a little bit of a more green bloodstone than usual, but bloodstone allows you to channel messages, get more downloads from your spirit guides. It allows you to really connect to your higher self and intuition. So using bloodstone and meditating with bloodstone can also give you more clarity from your intuition if you're still having some confusions on what illusions and manipulations of the mind that you're experiencing. So this can really help. So bloodstone for this week is going to help you. Also, Herkimer diamond, if you guys get a chance to get a Herkimer diamond, these are so pretty. And they're little like prisms of light, and they have all of these beautiful crystal, like kind of quartz-like qualities, but they have even more clarity than a clear quartz. So Herkimer is really going to give you more clarity as well this week, and also help you act accordingly from a clear perspective. And then we've got this beautiful stone. This is a man-made stone. I usually don't promote too many man-made stones, but this one's really good. Actually, all of these that I got, these are different color obsidian. They're man-made. So this is a pink obsidian for love. This is a purple obsidian, even though it doesn't really look that purple, for psychic energy. I'm trying to show you with the light. The light is so weird. And then this is an amber obsidian. This one is really good, and you can also use the actual crystal amber. So if you don't have a way to get this obsidian, you can totally get amber, and it'll probably be even a little bit more effective because it's not man-made. But any kind of stone of the like in an amber kind of color is going to connect you to earth and connect you more to grounding in the action that you want to move into, the things that you want to create, the manifestations you want to have, and the actions that you are doing to promote those manifestations and to progress towards your goals. So this is going to connect you more to the earth and to nature, and allow you to feel that connection even stronger to ground in what you want. So those are my 3 crystals that I think are going to be the best for this week. Nothing else is really speaking out to me. Nope. Oh, actually, yes. Labradorite. This is a little labradorite skull. It was gifted to me by one of my shamanesses, my mentors. I cannot talk. I'm like, my mentors? Like, I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, so this is labradorite, and it is a great crystal for magic and for manifestation and for mysticism. So if you can find labradorite, excuse me, then this is a great stone to use as well for bringing more magic into your life and using your magic to create more of what you want. All right, let's check out these cards. Beautiful cards, great validating cards. The first card for the beginning of the week from the Angels of Atlantis deck is Savikyo with Compassion. Let's see if I can get the light out of the way. Let's move this back. Okay. Compassion. Okay, there it is. So compassion is the first card of the week, which is letting us know that we are having more compassion for ourselves and others from the realizations that we've had from last week. And that with the compassion, and by using compassion as another fiery energy to replace any negative fiery energies of the beginning of the week that we felt from that astrology portion of the reading, making sure to use compassion and passion as a replacement for any frustration, irritability, or any kind of energy that doesn't serve you. Finding compassion for yourself and finding compassion for others throughout any experiences with love and family, any illusions and manipulations of the mind that flare up in the next couple of days with that, and finding compassion to love and forgive and to move forward so that you can feel free from those illusions and completely break away from them so that you can step fully into your truth for the beginning of the week. Okay, so compassion from Zavikyo, and we've got that beautiful red glow with orange and even some solar plexus energy there. So all of the lower chakras really activating in the beginning of the week for us. Even more of that connection to Mother Earth, which brings us to our middle of the week card, Nature, which is beautiful because we had this great message from Master Merlin yesterday in the Channel and Chill that we did live in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm at. And so if you were able to join live, I know Josie was there and a couple of others, we had a lot of great information on nature and connection to nature. And I encourage you all to connect with nature this week as a big part of grounding in all of the knowledge and self-reflection that we did last week, allowing us to act accordingly on what we received and the information that we were given. And this is going to give us even more ability to create by observing nature, the cycle of nature, and the creative essence of nature as we listen to what nature has to tell us to evolve. So cool. Beginning of the week card. Love that. And then I even love that this is like Merlin colors, by the way. Purple and blue and greens. So I just feel his energy really strongly in these cards, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then the end of the week, the very last card for the end of the week for 6/23 to 6/30, which is the end of the month, you guys, the end of our miracle month. So the last card is Ancestral Wisdom, letting us know that we are going to be connecting more to our ancestors, to our natural selves, to our root of ourself, to the family lines that we come from, and to recognize that most of us are way showers that are breaking certain cycles that did not serve our family line. So we want to feel connected and rooted in our truth and in our unique qualities that break cycles from our family lines, knowing that we're not going to be the same as our parents. We're not going to be the same as our parents' parents. We're not meant to be. We're meant to be our own energy, and we're meant to carry ancestral wisdom that does benefit us so that we can still maintain the positive characteristics of our family line and release any illusions or manipulations of even our ancestral wisdoms. So we want to be clear that even tomorrow and Tuesday with the family and love connections with illusions and manipulations, that we also know that it is our responsibility as a new generation in our family line that we clear any illusions and manipulations in our family so that we do not continue that illusion through our descendants of ourself in our ancestral connections. So the Ancestral Wisdom card also says, we are your ancestors and we love you. We walked the earth many years before you. We asked you at this poignant time to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy, and we will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. So you have support from your ancestors. You have validation that you can learn from your mother, your mother's mother, and their mother's mother's past mistakes and experiences. And same with your father line. Allowing yourself to really learn and find wisdom from those experiences and carry on what you've learned and act accordingly so that you can break traditions that did not serve the family line or you and start to instill new ones that are going to promote more evolution and growth in spirit. So beautiful. So to review, compassion in the beginning of the week, nature and connection to nature in the middle, and ancestral wisdom at the end of the week. Okay, we've got root energy, and we've got love here with the pink, and we've got even more heart chakra connection and nature connection with this green in this card. Okay, let's see what you guys have to say about the cards real quick. Jazz and Nash says, I've been in a space of unbalance and quiet energy for half of last week. That's usually a good thing, but there was such a weird vibration connection to it, such a skimpy sadness and confusion. Yes, and that is all passing with the reflection and the awareness that comes through this week. So trust that it's all for a reason, that all of that information is there for a reason to give you more confidence in your truth, And he says, fortunately, that energy has subsided and transitioned to more lightness. Wonderful. Yes, we just have that validation too. Wonderful. And Denise says, thank you for holding the space for all of us, Rissa. Absolutely. It is my pleasure. It is my dream to be able to have the biggest community possible of light workers and people that are just connected to spirit, who feel comfortable and able to communicate and have this beautiful place to speak and find communion amongst each other and connection. And I'm still not able to talk what I'm trying to say, so that's okay. We're just working through it. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Marie says that was an amazing energy and session. Thank you. Linda says, I know I am a way shower. I know I am one they are able to talk to. Huge release and key of support. Yes, beautiful. And Josie says, compassion and serenity is definitely going to be a big one for me and my family. Wonderful, you guys. I'm so proud of all of your work you're doing. I'm so excited for the unfolding of this week and to see how your life unfolds and how you experience this next week with all of this energy to tap into. Remember to maintain, to lead. Remember to lead with compassion and to connect with nature and to trust in the ancestral wisdom that is guiding you to either break certain cycles in your family line or continue certain traditions. I love you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for another live reading. Make sure to check out the SoundCloud link that I posted. I posted a little promo video of me in this hot pink sexy little romper for summer solstice the other day. That is a promo for my brand new group of music, my project. It's an EP. It's not a full album, but it is kind of an extended play album from Spirit Junkie, a full set of dance remixes from Spirit Junkie, as well as a brand new track that has 2 tracks in it. So it's a double track, and it's tons of positive, expressive, excited, elated energy and dance energy to shine and connect with summer. So check that out. The promo is the last video that I posted. If you click the description, you can click on the link to go right to the songs and to dance your heart out and experience all of the bliss of the summer with that summer solstice from last week. And I hope that you're having a great summer so far. Remember also that summer solstice is a time for us to shine light on our action, shine light on how to act and how to move to make the rest of this year really go the way that you planned it. So we are feeling into that action this week with the summer solstice being at the end of the week this last week. We're really moving into that action and productivity and a lot of new energy to be experienced, a lot of more fast-paced energy to have, okay? So I'm gonna get off here because I'm talking all weird today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the energy, maybe it's the stars, who knows? Maybe it's just because I've been talking a lot this weekend. But I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to share this reading with anybody you feel needs it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Tap the bell for notifications as well, so you make sure you know whenever I post a new video. And pay attention to the community page, you guys, the community tab on this channel. I post daily affirmations every day on that community page. I also post sometimes art from other people who have been creating art during these readings or creating intuitive art. I love posting other people's art in this page as well. So definitely check the community tab and make sure that you share this with anybody who you feel needs these messages and this energy. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. Peace. See you next week. See you next month, really. See you next month for July. Oh my goodness, I was going to say June, but it's July.